If you can hear me, can you put one in the comments, please? Thank you. So I'm going to be preaching a bit. Just a few thoughts. There it is. That music, I do love that music. I think we've come full circle in my case. I'm going to tell you what I've been feeling and what I felt today. I'm going to tell you back a few years first. When Brother Disturbed, Glenn Akerman, and if he's watching this, hi Glenn, when he basically started to educate me about what's going on now, and not particularly about what's going on now, about the history and all the rest of it, I denied all of it. We come to blows a few times. And he said, if you don't believe me, just look. And I didn't want to believe it, because to believe it was to have to change everything I believed in, right? So we would go for a drink, well, most of the time actually, and we touch on parts of it, but generally we get absolutely soaking Saturday and Sunday, and especially Sunday, and we would almost come to a head, come to blows about it, because he'd start to go deep about stuff, as Sister Banham would, a deep dive, right? And I'd be like, no, I'm not having that. He went, look, if you just don't believe it, look for yourself. I am not lying to you. And this was happening long before this was something that we started saying to everybody else. And I didn't want to know, and I didn't want to believe it. Anyway, when I actually became to believe it, I was like, oh shit, Now, this put us in a precarious position because there were very few of us that were onto this sort of thing at the time. Anyway, I sort of took it up and then ran with it. And I said, well, just tell me the rest of what you know. So he did. And then after that, I had to do my own stuff. And I've been very much alone, like most of you, for the last few years. And it's been a really cold and lonely place, which I'm sure you'll agree with. And if you have, put one in the comments. Anyway, just lately, I've started noticing the difference. I felt up until recently that if I went into town or my village or whatever it was, that people didn't agree with me. And now I'm finding it's quite the opposite, actually. And now people are starting to be proud of me and hold me up, which is weird, right? What that means is they've come to the realization that what they've been told wasn't right. So one of my neighbors started asking me questions. And it was funny because one of the guys that I was small at school, and one of the biggest, he wasn't a bully. This guy was really hard, but he wasn't a bully. And he was looking up to me. That's fucked up. That's weird, right? And he was going, but you are. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just, Anyway, but the fact that I've spoken out and said what I've said to them is something else. And I don't know where it is or what it is. And I'm not interested anyway. But they're coming around. And many of them are coming around. And even the ones that I think look left wing aren't. Or at least they're starting to think the same as we are. And we're on to a new thing. So when my friend asked me, he said, so it's the government, right? I said, no, it's more than the government. Oh, right. And all the time he's saying, but I feel racist. Why? He says, I know I'm not, but I feel racist. I went, yeah, that's the way you've been indoctrinated. I said, do Indian people feel a problem about criticizing you or knocking you down? He went, no. I said, can they be rude to you? He went, yeah. Are they? Frequently. I said, are there black people that do this to you? He went, yeah. He said, but I like black people and I love Indian people. I went, yeah, so do we. I said, now ask yourself, are there Indian people in this country that like you? He went, yeah. Are there black people in this country that like you? Yeah. Right. So there is a proportion, right? I said, but over time, that proportion will change. I said, at the end of the day, everybody is tribal. Now, do you believe there's a thing, by the way, I'm going to ask you questions. Do you believe in such a thing as there being tribalism, or do you believe it's racism? If you believe people can be tribal and be really much for their own people and not so much interested in other people, put one. If you believe it's racism and they just don't like people on their skin color, put two. So, all the way through our discussion, when you were coming up with common sense, the guy had quite a few beers, so he was opening up. Well, that tells you enough, doesn't it? The guy was opening up, and every now and again he harped back, but I'm not racist. I said, I know you're not, you soft cunt, right? Because you care about all these different people, you give a shit and all the rest of it. I said, what you've been is pre-programmed, indoctrinated, groomed, call it what you like. This is something that's been aimed at us lot. And every time we think about standing up for ourselves because we've been told we can't, right? So say, for instance, some group of individuals are wronging us or something is oppressing us because of our color or our culture. We've been told that we can't say anything about it because if we do, we're racist. That's bullshit. And I'm here to tell you now. If somebody has a problem with you because you're white or you're Anglo-Saxon, they're a fucking racist bigot. And this is the reason I lost the first channel. Ha! So we'll probably lose this. I don't care. The channels or YouTube is purely here to serve our purpose. And if we lose it, we'll get another. 1 second. So it wasn't just him, there was others. They were asking questions, and they were asking simple questions, the questions we all asked. And I felt like the what they call it, the servant to become the master, or the master, I don't know. Because I remember Glenn telling me about all this stuff, and I was like, oh, I can't take this. And I now know that people are asking me, and I'm like, it's not that I don't know what to say. 1 second, because I haven't set up the call-in, and the call-in's now started. This is very amateur, Simon. Give me a second. Gonna have to put that down just to bugger. Sorry. Broadcast 2. Right, that should be connected. I'm really sorry if I got rid of you. Do call back. I'd actually just, I haven't been doing much content lately because I don't feel I want to. One, two. 1, 2. Right, apparently you should now hear me. Right, tell me if you can hear me now. Right, okay. Now, it was you, by the way, and I haven't set this up yet. It was trying to set up this, and we'll try once more. A little Welsh nightmare. I don't think this will work, but we'll try once more. Right. Right, you could all hear. Right, caller.
Hello, Simon.
Well, fuck me, it worked. Now, what happened was this gentleman called in, and as he called in, I connected it up to the roadcaster, and the roadcaster went, do you know what? This is a really good time for me to shit my boots and fucking collapse. And that's exactly what happened. So it wasn't any piss poor planning or alcoholism on my side, although there has been a few beers. So anyway, my little Welsh noodle, do you want to tell us more?
Oh, yes. Well,
right.
I think you know what I'm good.
Right. I don't want depression. I've had a good day. I want information, not depression.
Well, shall I start with the good news first of all?
Yeah,
I know it's rather starting at the end rather than the beginning, but I think since you're in that mood, I may as well get off to a good start. All 3 victims are still alive and have been discharged from hospital. Something of a minor miracle.
All 3 victims. No, do I really want to ask? I'm not sure I really want to ask, but when did the victims become victims? How long ago was this?
Wednesday.
Right, I've heard about that. Yep.
That's 8 miles away from me. And one of the victims, who was stabbed in the neck by the 13-year-old girl.
By the way, if you're watching this, share this. Yeah, go on.
With a butterfly knife. That individual is a neighbor of mine.
Right. So was it white on white, black on white, Asian on white? What was it?
Well, let me put it this way, because it's a live case. Ammanford is 95% native born.
Yeah, I got a friend in Ammanford.
Yeah, 95% native born Brit, 96% white total population, and 0.4% Muslim. It wasn't a Muslim.
Good.
It wasn't a native-born Brit, and it wasn't a Jew. But it was someone from a country that we in the West have been sending tens of billions of money and military supplies to. Ones that we've been encouraged to fly their national flag. Flag.
Can you tell me who somebody thinks it might allegedly be?
All I can say, it's a 13-year-old girl who isn't Jewish, isn't Muslim, isn't British, but hails from a war-torn country that we are sticking our nose in to the tune of tens of billions of pounds since 2022.
Wouldn't have something to do with a crane, would it?
You may think that. I couldn't possibly comment. It's a live case.
Excellent, lovely, great diversion, works well. Anyway, so hypothetically speaking, it was somebody we stuck our nose into, and this person has now come over to Ammanford, which is, if people don't realise, it's quite far west, isn't it, in Wales?
Yes.
And if they've made it that far, and then they've all got a bit stabby. I don't know what the religion is from said place. I've no idea.
Ukrainian Orthodox.
Means nothing to me, mate.
Well, it's a form of Christianity. There's different branches of it.
So I'm now confused. We now have Christians attacking Christians. What's caused that? I mean, so this Ukrainian person, right, has come over here and decided to get all stabby, right, and start stabbing up at other Christians, which is a possibility, by the way, people. Let's not rule this out, right? Why?
Well, what we know is that the alleged attacker was very stabby, and may have been rather shooty inclined.
Okay, so
In
the guy, hi Smiler, the guy's from Ukraine, allegedly.
girl,
Girl. Well, this is even more weird. Right? So a female from Ukraine lost the plot, right? I don't want to put this down to mental health because that's what people do when, say, for instance, Islam starts going mental. What would be the psyche of a person like this to go and want to do something like that?
well, this ties into what I discussed with you a few weeks ago about the trouble in schools in the area. How one school had been put on lockdown because a 21-year-old male was threatening to stab teachers and staff, teachers, staff, and pupils. The Syrian versus British schoolgirls fight club in another school in Llanelli, and the culture of bullying amongst pupils and the teachers and the governors and the local authority trying to cover it all up because they don't want it to affect their Ofsted rating.
Can I just put it out there that this person may have come from that country and can be the same religion as us, but hate us because we're different to them by country? I mean,
well, you're on to something there, Rev, because
right. Well, listen, people can beat each other to death over a football team, right? You used to have Catholics and Protestants not fuck out of each other because of that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So it's potentially viable that we've invited somebody in from a different country who then got the ump and didn't like the place that he was at, whatever, and just didn't like them because they weren't the same.
Oh, it's worse than you think, Rev. Now, I have a mole within George Galloway's Workers' Party in Rochdale. Now, he's not a socialist, and he doesn't agree with Galloway on Palestine, but he's joined forces with Galloway to kick out the Labour Council. So he's standing for election in Rochdale. He's a YouTuber, quite a small one, but a very good one. And he's been saying for years that the Ukraine is the world capital of neo-Nazis and Holocaust denial. And then you've also got the Azov battalion and the fact that 90 years ago, Ukrainians were forming paramilitary groups under the watch of the Nazis, rounding up Jews, guarding Jews in concentration camps and death camps. And they blamed the Jews for Joseph Stalin and the Holodomor.
Yep.
So you import that sort of actual fascist culture over to the UK.
So are we suggesting
without proper vetting
that these people were the original haters?
Yeah, pretty much.
And now they're here.
Yeah.
Because would that suggest that the UN went and pushed a hornet's nest and it's coming over here to sting us?
Yeah. And you combine that with the generations, and I do mean generations, of feral white British children who are latchkey kids, no discipline, mother and father, let them do what they want. They're only here because, extra money from the government for each kid. And you've got a toxic culture. And the only thing that surprised me about what happened on Wednesday was that it happened in Ammanford and not Swansea or Llanelli.
Well,
and far from the situation getting better, it's actually gotten worse since the incident on Wednesday. The kids are even more feral now, and so much so, a 15-year-old boy in a nearby town has been arrested for posting threatening messages about that school where the stabbing took place and had a BB gun confiscated. Meanwhile, on Friday, another Welsh school near Newport was also put into lockdown and a pupil was arrested there.
I'm going to ask
for
you a
threatening
question.
acts of violence.
I'm going to ask you a question, Sweet Pea.
Yeah.
I have just listened to some speeches by Hitler in English. Have you?
No.
You should.
I have read extracts of some of them.
Well, I listened to them put into a voice that they think would be like his, with the same motion and the same dialect and in the same way that he would have put it across. And we're all thinking it would have been gas the Jews this and hate the Jews that. It wasn't. Nothing like it. And I have to say that the speech really did open my eyes. Now, I'm no fan of Hitler because of allegedly what he did, right? However, I had to say allegedly because I wasn't there in history, so I have to go by what people apparently said, or he apparently did. Now, he was allegedly the man that gassed millions of Jews, right? Although they've put it down to his subordinates and all the rest of it, and they said that he didn't know. Personally, I think he did, right?
Yeah.
However, when you listen to his speech in 39, and you listen to what he said, I can't disagree with what he said, because what he was saying was not terrible at the time. He wasn't calling for terrible things, but he was simply saying about the finances of Germany. And he said, which was an interesting point, why is it that all of these people that have a problem with the way that, say, for instance, certain people are being treated will not take these people? Why is it they expect Germany to take these people, but nobody else will take them? That's hypocritical. And it went on like this. And I was like, well, that's quite some thing. So it's all on YouTube if you want to see it or listen to it or whatever. And I would say, listen to it with an open mind. I'm not going to defend the man, and I don't believe that what he did was great. However, I do believe in the beginning, what he was saying was interesting. That's what I'm saying. What do you think, people? Do you think that Hitler in 39 was already a nutter? Or do you think that he had some great ideas and became a nutter? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, Caller, you really should go off and listen to these and then come back and tell me what you think, because I'll be interested to hear what your opinion
Well, I have seen one video that went into quite some detail on one of his speeches and a video on another of his speeches during the war. So I am familiar with his arguments and what he was talking about. Let's put it that way. And I've also tried to read Mein Kampf. I mean, I got to about page 180 before I had to give up.
I'm not a great reader, so I've not read any books like that. I'm one of these people that believe that the man couldn't have got anywhere without funding. Where did he get the funding from? That's important. I believe that personally that country was ravaged by people that were bad, the people that were trying to rape it of its resources, it's all sorts of stuff. And I believe there was well over 30 political parties at the time, so nobody could ever get any traction. And it would have taken some sort of dictator, right, to gain some sort of power, totalitarian power. And at that point, right, say, no more, now we can achieve stuff. Because here's the problem, right? Take, for instance, America, or take, for instance, here. You can't actually achieve a great deal because you have to get the agreement of so many people. With the dictator, it's like, it's now me. I decide whether that's right or wrong, by the way. But anyway, that's that's what I was looking at Nazi Germany and thinking,
Yeah.
bad.
May I make a recommendation to you and your listeners and viewers? If you really want to know what happened with Hitler and the Nazis and that whole time period, the best place to go is a YouTube channel called Tick History. That's TIK History.
Right. Can I ask you, do you think that Hitler could have turned it around from a third world country into a first world country with the motorways and the infrastructure and everything else without massive investment from the first world countries?
In all honesty, I think that Hitler's economic policies were insane. That most of the early success of the Nazi regime, economically wise, was actually a holdover from the painful economic measures that one of Hitler's predecessors, I forget his name now, Goering, not Hermann Goering, but another one with a similar name.
Well, Goring.
Yeah, and he was forced out of office. And by the time Hitler took power, the economy was already on the upturn. Then a year into Hitler's rule, the economy began to nosedive again. And then in 1935, you had food and shortages and other shortages of consumer goods. And it was actually causing some unrest. And people, according to Gestapo reports, were starting to blame Hitler for not intervening. These shortages continued. They did all sorts of off the table, backhanded kind of things like MIFO bills and price controls, wage controls, taking over the unions and merging them into one big union.
Right. It was said
they were borrowing so much money. Germany, if it hadn't have been for the war, would have been heading for hyperinflation. In fact, by the time Hitler invaded Austria, the Third Reich was already bankrupt.
It was said that the ruling elite back in the days, right, this would have been England, America, and maybe the Royal Dutch or whatever, said that it would be worth funding Hitler X amount of Reichsmarks, right, millions basically, and it would be worth losing this in so much that he would be a bulwark to Bolshevism, and if they never got it paid back, it would still be better than letting Bolshevism go all the way across Europe as it had planned to do back then, which, seeing what it had done to the Russian royal family, the rest of the royal families and the ruling elite couldn't comprehend that happening to them. So I believe that they funded Hitler to make sure this wasn't the case.
The funding of Hitler is rather interesting because initially most of the funding came from party members and wealthy patrons in the German middle class and aristocracy that were either sympathetic to German nationalism in general or certain individual Nazis like Hermann Goering. I think there was only really one major industrialist during the 1920s that actually paid the Nazis, and most of that money went to Goering. A lot of money was pledged by industrialists in the 1930s to Hitler in the event of a communist revolution. That revolution never happened, therefore the money wasn't paid out. And it was only when it looked as if the Nazis were on the verge of power that those in authority decided to throw their lot in with Hitler, because the alternative to Hitler was a communist regime. So although he was funded eventually by the industrialists and by international concerns, they really came rather late to the party, so much so that the Nazi Party almost went bankrupt in early 1933. If Hitler hadn't have been made chancellor on the recommendation of the former head of the German central bank, Hjalmar Schacht, and the political maneuverings of
Hjalmar Schacht, and he
yes.
was prosecuted at the end of the war, wasn't he?
And he was cleared, surprisingly. And he had a lot of friends in the banking fraternity that spoke in his defense.
Were they Jewish?
And let's not forget, towards the end of the 1930s, Schacht fell out of favor with Hitler because he was telling Hitler, you've got to stop the rearmament program because it's overheating the economy, it's going to cause inflation, and it's going to cause economic disaster. And eventually, Schacht ended up in a concentration camp at the end of the war because he was one of those who plotted with von Stauffenberg to kill Hitler in 1944.
So what are we left to understand here is that basically most of the financial situation was against Hitler when he started to actually get his own wind and work out that I think Hitler was probably a lot more educated than we give him credit for. And I think he worked out he could play the system.
There is an argument that is starting to gain a bit of momentum that Hitler was actually quite a competent military commander, and that it was the generals that were the problem, not so much Hitler. He may have been a more competent military commander than people gave him credit for, but when it came to economics,
let's ask a spicy
when
question.
When it came to foreign policy, the man doomed his own country from the moment he accepted the offer from Hindenburg.
I'm going to ask the unaskable right now. Now, for your next leader, you've got the choice of two people. You've either got Tony Blair or Hitler for the next 4 years. Tony Blair.
Oh, that's an easy one.
No, because we're going to narrow it down then after that. Tony Blair is number one, Hitler is number two. Cast your vote now. All right, let's see how it goes. Oh, looking at so Hitler's going in quite well. Okay, right. Now, it's between Hitler and Churchill. Churchill is 3, Hitler is 4. This will be interesting. So that's the second round. Churchill is 3, Hitler is 4. 3, 4, 3. Oh, this is becoming more interesting. Yeah, he's still got. Oh, it's a lot more Hitler than it is Churchill. Okay, the Churchill's starting to fight back now. Right, Thatcher is 5, Hitler is 6. Let's see how we get on. This is interesting. This is really interesting because at the moment Hitler's winning. Now this is just pure questions because it is what it is. Oh, right. Yep. Nope. Still Hitler's winning. No, it's a clear win. So far, from my understanding, doesn't matter whichever person we've put against Hitler so far, you all have decided we'll have Hitler.
I find that rather worrying.
Why do you find that worrying?
Although I will say this. If you held a gun to my head and said you have to vote for either Hitler or Blair, I'd vote Hitler, because for all his faults, at least Hitler loved his people. Blair doesn't. He's a total robber baron, scorched earth locust.
So, if you could pick a person from the past who've been a leader of a country, any country, and you think it would have been best for our country going forward, and you could dig them up, who would it be? What historical leader?
Oh, that's easy. Javier Milei in Argentina.
Didn't he get done in?
No, he's in office. He was elected last year.
Oh, you mean the 5 foot hair?
Yeah, him.
Actually, interesting. Because he was going to go with the what do they call it? The what do they call it? The petrodollar, and then all of a sudden he went, well, actually, there's no base in that. Let's go with the Brinks. Is it the Brinks? Something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is with Milei, he has to be pragmatic at the moment, because
can I ask
in
you,
the Parliament,
you expect him to get killed? Because he won't carry on like that, will he?
Well, that's the big fear. That is the big fear.
Anyway,
at the moment, he's a bit hamstrung by what he can do, because he's only got 17 deputies in the 400-member plus Parliament.
By the way, I'm going to be a bit self-absorbed here, by the way, just for 2 seconds. Do you think that because of questions like our last ones and the surveys that I have done, this is why I will never be welcomed in to the likes of the other media people, you know, the ones that all rail on the, how do I put this? The 4x2s, right? There are so many of them that there have been females that say, I wish I was born Jewish. If I was born Jewish, I'd be fine with that. But if I wasn't, I wouldn't. But, you know, I don't care. But there it is. There's no part of me that desires to be born any other way than the way I was born. Clear. Right. There is others that go, I'm a Zionist. But you're English. You should be fucking English, you moron. Now, is it because I ask these questions and because I see through it that I'll never be invited into their group? What do you think, people? Let me know what you think in the comments. Because I couldn't give a fuck. I don't want to be part of a false party like that. Can you imagine when you get the phone up, you've got to go and join some other shithouse down at some demonstration and sing the praises of fucking some country you don't believe in? Not me, mate. Anyway, Mr. Caller.
Yeah.
At some point, I should let you get on and get somebody else.
Well, yeah. Before I go though, back to this Ammanford incident. In addition to mentioning the troubles that were going on to you and your viewers and callers a few weeks ago, about a week before the incident in Ammanford, I cornered one of my neighbours, who also happens to be the local councillor, and the local councillor who's the cabinet member responsible for education.
Man, I'm going to have to make this quick. Go on.
And I asked him, what's going on in all the schools, and well, why hasn't anything been done about it? And he just fobbed me off with an excuse about drug use and the breakdown of society. Well, yes, we know that these are problems, but what are you doing proactively to minimize these problems? Never got a response. A week later, this happened.
Well, lovely. I'm going to let you get on, and we'll speak soon.
Thanks for having me, Rev.
All right, see you in a bit. Bye. Jesus, that was quick. Hello.
Good evening, Simon. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm all good. I'm your friendly neighborhood army guy, the one who phoned up about the swearing thing.
All right.
Oh, mate, I've just been watching you, and you've got no chance in getting a group invite for any of the political party, mate.
I've got no chance of getting a what?
one of the invites to go and defend some other twat in some other country that you've got no interest in.
No, for some
I
strange
think
reason, I don't get invited.
that's weird, that mate.
No, I can't for the life of me think, right?
However, I found the actual polling results quite enlightening.
Mhm.
But talking about the artist from Austria, yeah,
Yes.
I think all he did was just espouse his views about like putting your country first and all that sort of stuff. Which, when you said that you'd listen to the translations and it sort of like opened your eyes about stuff. Not that I'm saying like brand you like some sort of like hardcore Nazi or nothing like that.
No, I'm not one of him, but at the end of the
Oh,
day,
good God, no! Jesus Christ, no! No, but I wouldn't defend his work. You know what I mean? But I've read some of the Mein Kampf things and all that type of stuff. I've read like little excerpts of it, and
put it this way, I'm
some of
so
his
much against
writings
our own because so much of what he said was better than what our lot said, even though what he did was bad. Does that make sense?
absolute pure sense. And I think that the polling results showed that.
I mean, these people are normal people, right? That are watching this, right? They're not fucking jackbooting fucks, right? And they're going,
No, God, no, we're
we've
not like
worked
tiki
out
torch
that
wielding fucking lunatics.
we worked out that Hitler's not as bad as our ruling fucking elite. And we're like, right? And I gotta be honest, right? And I'm like, yeah, probably right. And because when you realize that our ruling elite calls genocide where they go, they hate everything, they hate their own, moreover, right? They want to fuck their own country, and moreover, they want to start a civil war. And you're like, why? Because somebody in some other country tells us to. I nearly went there, didn't I? Yes, I nearly did.
Somebody somewhere thinks that is a good idea to start like some sort of civil war around here. Going back to the Ammanford guy, when he was talking about the girl who comes from a place that rhymes with Ukraine. She was 13 years old. I mean, I don't think that it's like that she was some sort of like hardcore jackbooted thug, if you know what I mean. In like my own personal opinion, I don't know any of the facts or any of the allegedness and nothing like that. But I just think that might have been some sort of like teenage bullying thing, where a girl from like a former Soviet state stood up to the soft Westerners and showed them that she's not to be fucked about with, if you know what I mean.
Be honest, we'll never know because we weren't there. But
no, but I mean, that's like children are absolute bastards. You know what I mean? And I think that if you've got like a child from a different country who's like being subjected to some sort of bullying or whatever, she's just took an extreme stance on it, a very extreme stance. But when you push people, pressure bursts pipes in the end.
So, if you were in charge of the country right now,
yeah,
what would be the first thing you'd do?
Oh my God,
that's a question, isn't it?
Yeah, that is an absolute question and a half. I've talked about this at length because I've got a lot of time on my hands and all that type of stuff, and we always do talk about kind of what would you do if you had the reins, and one of them is like the uncontrollable mass illegal immigration, and that would be to get a rein on that somehow and control that. I don't know how, whether or not holding like France to account because we're paying them millions to actually police the beaches, and all they're doing is facilitating the little boat gangs to load people up and just fire them across the channel. And we've seen the videos of the French Coast Guard sort of doing exchanges with the RNLI, going, right, we've got a boat, we're bringing it to you guys. If you let them die, that's on you, But maritime law says that you've got to help them, you've got to assist. So, I mean, I think it's having some kind of like...
You sound very reasonable. Do you know what I do?
Yeah.
You've gone very quiet.
No, I'm still here.
What I would do is seize power. Number one.
Right.
Right. So now whatever I say goes. Right. Sounds really bad, doesn't it? Right. But bear with. Right. The first thing.
Seize power. Right. I think one of my first things would be is clear out the prison system. Any inmates watching this, I'm sorry, guys, but if you are a pure recidivist and you've broken the law 5 times and you're not learning, I think it's time to impose the death penalty. if you're a menace to society and you've got no hope of redemption, I think you've got to go.
Okay, but they haven't lived by the rules that we don't agree with either, right? So we'll come back to that in a second, right? Right. First thing, seize power. Second thing, stick the Navy all across the
channel,
the English Channel, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, any ferry coming across carrying passengers unwelcome will get a 1 month ban from British ports, right? That's all. Very quickly, they'll make sure that no people come across. They'll police themselves, right? The rest of our boats will make sure that everything's dragged back abroad, right? Immediately, the Air Force will be on high alert, flying everything that has come over here illegally without asking permission, straight over to wherever it is, Uganda, or pick your place, right? And very quickly, what you'll see is queues at the British ports, Dover, wherever you want, of people of foreign ilk wanting to go back to Europe because it's a safer bet, right?
I think so, yeah.
Now, since I'm in charge, I can start changing other things. I can then get the civil service reviewed, and if they're perceived to be Marxist or communist, right, off you go.
Get rid of every DEI policy in the MOD, the police, government,
so
the NHS.
What do we call that when it's in the police? Or it's called common purpose. But anyway, all of that stuff, get rid of it, right? And then you get some. You're going to have to get some pretty strong-willed people in there, and you're going to employ them on their. What do you stand for? You know, give them a proper interview, and if they seem strong, right, and a bit bullish, right,
in the patriotic value,
you're going to ask them some really deep questions, and if they've got the minerals to answer those questions, then you employ them because they've got the minerals to see through the things that you've employed them to do, right? So you now have a civil service, hopefully, worth it. The first thing you tell all parents, you can smack your kids as hard as you fucking like. Yes, there's got to be over smacking, right? There's going to be this, right? And some kids are going to get abused, and that's a terrible thing. But have you heard of collateral damage, right?
But I'm sure for every one mixed fill pot, you've got 1,000 decent parents.
Yep. Well, Mick Philpott, by the way, a bit strong.
Oh, well, he was 1 in a million. Not like I'm saying he's a gem or nothing like that, but he was absolute fucking scum.
Yep. Anyway,
but for every one parent,
for one person that really steps out of line, you've got 10,000 parents, right, who are disciplining their kids, bringing up staunch kids, right? Excellent, right? You now tell the schools, if these kids step out of line, you discipline them. By the way, look at 1970s. That'll do. We'll go back to that, right?
Yeah.
So what you also then do is you have people go into schools and go, you're a bit of a dipshit, but you're quite good with your hands. We're going to make you.
Let's put you in a physical vocation where you're going to be able to dig holes, lay bricks, paint walls.
You will excel, right?
Yeah.
Right. And we make the best out of everything. Oh, you're a bit weak and pathetic, but you want special privileges. No, you're a dumb cunt. You're weak. You're pathetic. Fuck off. You're over there where nobody likes you. Step up, wanker.
Or they could go into the care profession where they're nurturing skills or pleasant demeanor.
No, you're not going to have weak people in the care profession because they'll nurture weakness in amongst people who are ill. Then these people need to be brought out of their shell. All people who are ill don't need to be mithered and pathetic. No, not in the last years of their life, do they?
Oh God, no. But I mean, I think you could like actually cater to your audience if you're like, you know, if you're working in an old people's home where a majority of people are like ex-veterans or ex-real people, you know, you could have like people who are more skilled at looking after those folks. Yeah, you've kind of lost me on that, mate, because I think your point is too good for me to actually make an argument against. Shit.
Cheers.
Yeah, go on.
Anyway, mine's a point. There we are. Right.
You painted me into a corner, you fucker.
Anyway, and you know, if I got control, the first thing I do is reach out to that Brits or the Russian thing. And the first thing I'd say is we ain't your enemy. We need to build
Yeah.
stronger ties with you, right? And start buying off you. And you need to start buying off us, and we'll do it at a fucking zero
Like
interest
their
or whatever it is.
natural gas and
Yeah.
resources and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Right.
just maybe.
And now I want to start funding all of my farmers. And all of those farmers that look, we're looking at packing it in, right? Help them, right? Because I want to make sure that most of our food is coming from within the UK, right? Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Actually, Southern Ireland as well.
And abolish all the green zero emissions bullshit.
That wouldn't have even been a thing. All of that rubbish would have gone. Right. If you want yourself some fucking Sentinel fucking chunk smugging, or if you want yourself some coal roller machine, if it makes you happy, if you want yourself a V8 that gets 15 miles to the gallon, but if it makes your mental health happy, crack on. Because I don't know if you've noticed, we're very close to May now, and it's 7 degrees. And if you're dumb enough to believe in fucking global warming, you're a bigger cunt than I thought. Right. Last thing we need. Right?
I don't.
So what I want you to see you do is, rather than chuck that plastic into the sea, I want you to see you burn it and all sit around and warm your hands.
All right. In fact, Rev, going on to this, like, I think I've lost you again. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, Christ. Going on to like common sense policy and all that type of stuff. I was watching Amy Gallagher talking about her little bid to become the mayor of London. What do you think her chances are?
Who?
Amy Gallagher. She's the Social Democratic Party girl, a little
I think
sort of like pale ginger creature.
So we get rid of a Muslim for a fucking a Marxist. What could go wrong?
Yeah. No. I wouldn't say Marxist. I mean, she's like, when I was just watching the interviews and stuff, I was thinking like, she's got some kind of good ideas going on. I don't know. I haven't looked into the SDP that much.
Do you actually think that they would let a woman in there with good ideas?
No.
Right. Do you actually think that she stands for everything you think, or do you think that maybe she's a good actress?
Oh man, I've been duped again. What the hell? What's going on?
Come on, son.
Man, I've got too much faith in people, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, get off. Let somebody else ring in. And have a think about yourself. All right?
Right on, Rev. Good chatting to you again, mate. See you in a bit.
No, see you in a bit, mate. Everyone all right? How we doing? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Well, I guess not then. It's only so much you would last, can't you? Talky over shouty bloke. Oh, I guess not. I'm working hard and I need to be now. Crinkle! Henry, how are you?
Yo, can you hear me?
Henry, I can hear you fine. How are you, love?
I'm all right, mate.
Now, you thought I banned you, didn't you?
Yes.
And your name is, for some reason, come up on my phone, which means I clearly couldn't have banned you.
Yeah, but you know what I want you to do? Like, just open up a WhatsApp account so we don't have to use credit so we can call you. And then we can call you from our PC.
Aren't you calling on WhatsApp?
No, I'm calling off my mobile phone. Sign up for WhatsApp.
Henry, I'll call you back somehow on WhatsApp.
Go on then. Yeah. This is my WhatsApp number.
No, I gotta fucking. I'll work this out. Hang on, give us a second. I can't believe we're going to do this, but we're going to do this because Henry. In a second. How do I do this? Hello. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
All right, yourself?
Yeah. I'd say I was living the dream, but you know the reasons. What about you?
Well, all right. Just we can surf them and all the rest.
So, what is it you want to talk about?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Well, you rung in. Come on.
Come on. Well, you're the host.
No. This is not how this works, right? You ring in with a question or something you want to talk about.
Taxation without representation. Let's go down that road.
Well, it started off a small tax and now it's got to massive tax, and it's tax upon tax upon tax. Now, question is, do you think it would have been any less under a Labour government?
Been under no government. It's called a state for a reason. It's a shit state. Excuse my French.
Yeah. So, what's your advice or your solution of sorting this problem out? What do you reckon?
Well, if you were self-employed, don't give them any money.
Right.
Hold it back. And what are they going to do? They haven't got the resources, the logistics to go after everybody who wouldn't pay.
So, the theory being is encourages many people to
There's
go
no
self-employed and nobody pay.
Yeah, nobody pays. No taxation without representation. You know, represent me, you get no money.
Right, okay. Now,
the same as council tax, but it just takes kahunas, and nobody's got the kahunas to do it.
Can you remember solidarity? Because unfortunately, most people can't. Because
well, most people are, and the spell, as the saying goes, without getting your channel shut down. So most people are under the spell. They do as they're told. They're good little drones. But if everyone did know, they would go, no, you have no money. I ain't paying you nothing. Get out of here. This ain't Kringle either. This ain't Kringle.
Well, no, I don't think it's Crinkle. I'm actually got Crinkle's number here, and I'm trying to find a way of calling him back.
Well, I'll call him back, get him on. He's funny. You've got to be fair. He is a laugh, so he is a laugh.
He's absolute fucking chaos. I put his number in, but I've got to try and ring him. But I've got to go off the. Let's give it a go.
He is chaos and Jeffrey. He is chaos and Jeffrey. But anyway, that's all it takes is for the masses, all the self-employed. I don't know what else to say. I don't even know why I ran in. It's just like you've answered the phone, and I'm just going. I'm self-employed. You get no money. Later, when you knock my door, I don't answer my door. It's as simple as that. With anything, bugger off.
Sounds reasonable. Right, I'm going to try and find a number to try and call Crinks on because, unfortunately, oh God, I'm not doing too well here. Oh, nope. I'm trying to find. I'm not doing
too well. I've called in. I haven't even seen the comments online. They're probably slagging me off. But it's as simple as that, guys. Don't give them your money. Tell them to get out of here. And that's it. Because their computer systems are crashed, right? If half of a city did not pay council tax, it only takes within their computer system 20% of people not paying with council tax. The computer system will crash. They haven't got logistics. It's like, that's it. It's as simple as that. You would crash the system. But nobody's got a kahunas. So there we go. Well, but anyway, who are you going to vote for? Who are you going to vote for?
I want Labour. I'm going to accelerate everything. I want the fucking place to go wrong quick, and then we can fight back.
Are we going to fight back, though, bro?
How do I say this legally? Some might not, some might.
I know. That is the problem, evidently, with their legalese and their bullshit system. How are we going to actually give an answer? Which is non-conformist within MK Ultra situations which they put down on us all. Look, it's 4 years ago. 4 years ago today, everybody was like 6 foot deep. 6 foot deep. Sounds a bit wrong, but yeah, 6 foot. Cover your mouth. Do as you're told. Yeah, where are we now? Massive where they've changed within the structure of what what data we put down of how people have died. And that's it is how hard you talk on these streams. It's very bloody hard.
Well, I'm going to try and call Crinkle back now, I think. So I'll see you in a bit, all right?
Later.
All right, mate. Right, Crinkle, I've got to try my best here, right? Because I've tried to put it on the computer and it's not working. Now, I'm just going to call you back. And I don't think this will last very long. All right?
Hi, Simon. I got you, my brother.
It's still ringing.
How you doing, man?
Yeah. Right, Henry, you got to stop it ringing your end, mate.
Simon, I got you, my brother.
Can you turn the live stream off your end?
Yeah, I've muted it.
Anyway, I'm calling you on phone on my phone that never gets used. It's only used for calling in, all right? So if it calls off, it was my fault, right? I can't find a way of finding to input on the WhatsApp on the computer to do it to call you that way, all right?
Okay, I'll tell you how to do it easily. All you need to do is get WhatsApp on your phone, and then if you've got a Windows computer, you can install WhatsApp, but you have to register your phone and sync it with your computer, and then that's all good. Everyone can ring in from their computers then without any call charges, and that's it.
Henry, I'm struggling. I'm just looking at this. Hang on. Let's see if I can do this.
There's WhatsApp on the phone and there's WhatsApp on the computer.
Hennes, I might have found you. One minute. Let me call you back. Right, don't go anywhere.
No, don't.
Oh, I don't want to call him. This might work, kids. Nah, probably not working. Right, Henry, if you can hear me, we might have done a bad thing.
Need to do it, Rev. You know what I'm saying? Can you hear me now?
Henry, can you hear me?
Yo.
Can you hear me, Henry?
I'm on the WhatsApp, man.
Can you hear me?
He's almost there. Hang on, let me sort this shit out. Let's just make sure he can hear me.
Right, can anybody hear Henry?
He's almost there. I think you can hear what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can hear what you're saying.
But I can't hear what you're saying.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I've got you on the WhatsApp on the computer, you know what I'm saying? And so let me tell you.
Can you hear me now, Henry?
I can say about my end, because I'm a computer genius. So let me tell you what I can see. I can see that you can hear me, and my voice is coming through, but I can't hear you. That's about the long and short of it.
Bugger.
You know what I'm saying? And now Rev's muted himself. Hang on, say something then.
1, 2, 3.
Hang on.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that was almost genius. Like, hang on a minute.
Henry, I'm trying, mate.
So,
hello, how are you?
Let me try and sort this shit.
Hello, how you doing? Oh, I'm not doing one now, are we? Put our fingers. Well, there we are. That we tried really hard. Let's have a quick pint and think about what we're doing now. To be honest, we tried hard. Henry, you can't say I didn't. But unfortunately, it's not worked out. If anybody else wants to ring in, what's the time? It is now way past my bedtime. Usually I'll be in bed by about 7 o'clock, 7:30. So I'd say this was a result. Hello.
Hi, just putting the volume down.
How are we, love?
I'm all right, sweetheart.
What do you know?
Right now, try to turn it down. My thoughts, I've got a few thoughts, but what's your thoughts on Andrew Bridgen in Parliament? I can't say the words, you know what I'm talking about.
I really hate saying this, but he's a great distraction for the nationalists, for the right wingers. He flip-flopped from everything going, right?
Even though he's bringing out the
and you know what? He's
things that have happened.
mainstream. He can say everything that doesn't get taken down. Doesn't that shout to you?
Oh, just like, there's so many YouTubers. How come you're still online and you're not taken down?
Because
Right, I get you.
I do skirt around the edges of a lot of shit. More the point, I've got to a point now where I'm of a certain size that I'm big enough now that if they take me down, they look bad.
Look, oh, sweetheart, I was the one in your chat that said, because of your hay fever, you have to take your natural honey from where you live.
Yeah, now, when I work locally, like I do, that would work. But when I was on long haul...
You buy it everywhere you go. Yeah, that's the thing. What I will say, and let someone else come on, I got my new copper bangles, bracelets today.
Yep.
Now, our ancestors wore copper bracelets. Yes, you've got to look after them, clean, because they oxidize, go kind of greeny on your skin. But people need to go back to things like that.
What, copper bangles? Do you think that that's what stops rheumatism?
Arthritis. Oh, so I've got one on my ankle and one on my wrist, and I only got them today, and I cannot believe the difference already. Honestly, research.
Now, do you think that's placebo?
No, definitely not. I've had vitamins. I will not go to a hospital. I will not go to a doctor. I've tried. I've got a grounding mat, earthing mat, which works. But now the magnetic copper bangles. I'm just saying, Simon.
Do you know what? I heard of the guy that he used to deliver magnets, and he got into this job and he wasn't well. But when he got this job and started delivering magnets, he realized his health went up exponentially. And then he started to think that it was something to do with the magnets. So he then made these magnet things. My dad got into this, right? And he was trying to sell these ones. And he said, well, you need to get into this. And he worked out that I could be a salesman. But I worked out and went, you're full of shit. Not Dad, the person that had sold it to Dad, and Dad was just, unfortunately, gullible. So I went, no, fuck you.
Look at it, Simon. There's evidence. There's actually a shared on the American Telegram channel. There's a 2024 paper that has came out.
What I'm saying is that if it was such a thing, it would have sold by now.
Because it's cheap, and the WH and the O don't want people knowing what's cheap for your health, because they can't make money out of it.
I do believe that there are things called placebos that people believe in that work.
Do you know what? I'm going to share a link on your Telegram, Simon, because you're not convinced. It's not that I don't need to convince you, okay? This is something. When I spoke to my partner and his mates, all their granddads, they all had copper bangles on.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been deleted from our history, like everything else.
Yeah, because
I'll
at the
fight
time,
it.
everyone believed that copper eased your aches and pains through your wrist. My mother had them.
Yes.
My mother had those, and that thing that held you so that you didn't fuck your wrist up. And I believe that having one of those actually made her wrist probably weaker. Actually, I believe there
Oh,
was a lot of things over the past that they told my mother to do to put her in an early box.
they did the same to my
One of
mum.
the biggest things was, it's not your fault, you poor thing.
Oh, Simon, don't go there. They did that.
What they should
Right,
say is, man the fuck up. Nobody cares. Get on with it.
oh, don't.
Because
I've
that's the truth.
learned
The truth is, even your mates don't want to hear about it, right? This is the truth, right? You phone out your mates and they went, "How are you?" And I'm all right. That's what they want to hear. You go, "Oh, do you know what? I'm in a bit of pain." And all the rest of them, "Oh, fucking shut up. I don't want to hear this." That's the truth, right? If you go through day-to-day stuff that's a little bit, you've got a bad, your wrist is fucked and you've got a bad back, right? If you've told them a couple of times, that's all they need to know. After that, how are you? Usual, right? But I'm okay. Means I'm in normal pain, but I'm no worse than I was before, so I'm grateful for today. Right? That's where we should be, right? Anybody else agree with this? Because at the end of the day, I'm sick to tired of fucking whinging and moaning cunts who have lived long past their expiration date, right? Are whinging about not living as comfortable as they were when they were 20. I've got no time for this shit.
Simon, have you heard about the new information coming out about mushrooms? I don't mean getting out your tits. The new information coming out about the health benefits of mokel. Oh, I forget the actual name, but mushrooms. And I can share on the Telegram all the evidence that they've hid from us that natural planet Earth, everything around us cures every single disease.
Right. So everything, as in the normal hedgerow stuff, trees, that sort of stuff. Now there is a book that my friend had. It was called Hedgerow Medicine, right? And it was believed that there was that many medicines within your local hedgerow, if you walk down it, you could find, that would cure most of the stuff in old England. Nowadays, I don't know about it, but mushrooms, magic mushrooms, this is allegedly, because I've never had them. But
no, neither have I.
But they do have some properties, but I don't know what they are.
No, it's natural mushrooms. I don't mean the psychedelic stuff.
We need to get off this, only for the fact that we can't talk about medicine on here.
Oh, right. Sorry, sweetheart. So, right, back to my question. The Andrew Bridgen thing, so that's...
I won't be interviewing him anytime soon, all right? How many people have I had on my place, and how many people have I been asked to interview? I was asked to interview him. I was asked to interview a few other people who were Lord Mayors.
Do you know who it was shared on your Telegram? It was who I've not seen for a very long time. And we were told, he's bought off. GB, what's his name? GB. Oh, you ken who I'm talking about.
Right. Is he on GB News or is he otherwise?
No, no, not GB News. That guy, the big, tall, coloured guy with the curly hair.
Is that
but
the
his
religious
name is...
guy?
What, sorry?
The religious man.
No. He was in court and all that way back last year.
No idea you're on about.
You'll know, I can't remember his actual full GB. Can you make me go on? Right, 2 secs.
Well, anyway, look, it doesn't matter because we're going to get on. Anyway, love, I'm going to say, well, I've got to get on to the next call. So I'll speak to you in a bit, lovely. All right.
I'll put my volume up. Thanks for listening.
All right,
Thanks
lovely.
for listening.
Bye-bye. I was trying to get hold of Brody, but I can't send the message for some stupid fucking reason because I was going to get Brody to look after the shop for 10 minutes. I'd given Rotten Politics the call because I need a piss at some point. So I'm going to need somebody to look after the shop. Is she a crinkle? Anyway, there we are. I'm expecting probably somebody will call in, or I could always wrap this up and then go back to Discord. What's the time? It's not even that time yet, is it? It's not even 10 o'clock. It's too early. Right. Let me explain. Just lately, I've felt tired for the last fucking 10 years. And I'm sick and tired of being tired, right? Because I should be able to stay up. But normally by now, I'll be looking for a reason to go to bed. Hello.
Okay, Simon.
Yeah, if you can turn it off in the background, that'd be great, son. Usual.
Yeah, it's off.
How you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, I've had a really good day. I was out on the bike and went to Devil's Bridge. I know you're further south than me, but I'm sure you've heard of Devil's Bridge with the motorbike meeting up and stuff.
No, we've got a different Devil's Bridge down here.
Oh, right.
Ours is we got a Devil's Bridge just over a railway ravine, if you like, and it's called Devil's Bridge because it took the guy that sold the land to build it was an old devil. So there it is.
Yes. There's plenty of those around. But this is basically by Kirby Longsdale. It's called the Devil's Bridge by Kirby Longsdale. And that's where a lot of bikes meet up, have a coffee, have a chat. Great bunch of lads and stuff. And there's lots of bikes out for the day around the area and so on. Great roads as well. So I've had a great day out on the bike and, had a good time. But I'm just also concerned about the situation that's going on in Southern Ireland. You know, it's really, really sad I've watched a couple of videos on YouTube where these people, the local men and women, especially the women, have dropped to their knees and just started praying to God, you know what I mean? And also in the same place they've brought in water cannons from the English side of things and shipped these water cannon vehicles down there, and it's just really sad to think that, hang on a minute, I'm just a normal person in society, but at the end of the day, yet again, after all these years, even in the year 2024, I cannot protest and get anywhere and basically, try and put my side of things. It's just disgusting. It's really, really sad. And now it is getting a little bit, and it has to get a bit violent, I think.
We're saying this is bad, and it is, right? But they put water cannon out on the people of Ireland in 1969, 1970.
Now, yeah, well, come on, Simon. You know, it's happening everywhere. Like where the people come out and
they've done it before, haven't they? And
well, we all know about this. It's happened everywhere, hasn't it? You know, Paris. These people come out and they protest too much. They get the water cannons out. But even in this day and age, 2024, we're here again. A small village in Southern Ireland. The locals complaining, saying that they don't want all these people coming in and taking over hotels and so on and so on. We all know about what's going on. And local village people, there we go. No, they're trying to protest, and now it's turning violent. And these people bringing in these fucking water cannons and shit. You know what I mean? It's just fucking disgusting. It just proves that these people are just wankers, mate.
Yep. Well, you won't get me arguing. I mean, my own lot at the moment are thinking that because of, just going to quote, because of the rough brushing on Hitler history, and unfortunately Crinkle, And then we might have mentioned other things on here that they're expecting this thing to get taken down. But because we've made no particular reference to fact on anything, I think we'll get away with it. And if we don't, who cares? But that's
well, sorry, Simon. I haven't. I'm not upsetting you by mentioning this shit that's going on in Southern Ireland, am I?
Not doing anything wrong, sir. So crack on.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, my God, what kind of a world are we going to? Where are we all going? It's going to be very fucking dark, mate. It's going to be very dark. I was chatting to someone today, basically, and I said to this fella, I said, look, these people are fucking so dark and psychopathic that they will basically have you as a growing man, if you're not playing the fucking game, sat on the naughty step with your finger up your ass, and they'll have you there on the naughty step with your finger up your fucking ass because you've been a naughty boy. And that's where we're heading to, mate. Honestly, if people just don't stop all this shit and they're doing what they're fucking told. They're doing what they're told, mate.
Do you think that I'll have one of my wrong? Because I have to say, if somebody said I need to place a finger in your passage for whatever reason, I would have to disagree with them, shall we say. There will be no finger placings in the wrong places. Can I? Especially
well, I must admit, I mean, it's never happened with me, and I mean, no, I wouldn't be into that at all. But at the end of the day, these people are psychopathic, mate. They're fucking evil, dirty bastards who think that all you are is a soulless piece of fucking meat.
Right. While you're
and
on
that's
here,
it, mate. And you'll do as you're fucking told, and that's it.
Listen to me. There's 1,116 people listening to you right now. Isn't that impressive?
It is, mate. Respect to you, Simon.
Now, if
mate,
you'd rung it at GB News, you should have had 200 some odd. You made the right call.
I wouldn't be allowed to talk like this with GB News, and they wouldn't have it.
But that is the very reason that GB News doesn't have people ringing in.
Of course, mate, because it's all bollocks.
You know, whether I agree with what you say, and a lot of the times you and me have gone, no, I don't agree in that, and whatever, we butted heads. But you're always free to ring in, and at any point you can pick up the phone. But the very fact that you can pick up the phone to me and go, I believe in, whether this lot believe in you, and the chat is the most important thing. They'll go, yeah, no, or whatever, and basically the whole point is freedom of normal people, which is why I was trying to get hold of Crinkle, because as much as I'm really not interested in getting into a debate with Crinkle, I don't want to cut off his ability to have a debate with me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think as much as, you know, we all know sometimes Crinkle can, be a bit of a, a bit of a pain, but he is also, I need to have a laugh, mate. I need to have a laugh, because I've heard him say some funny things that made me laugh, mate. And to tell you the truth, the way he's fucking going, that's all I fucking need is just something that makes me fucking laugh, mate, because the rest of it is dark.
Listen, I'd rather find things that me and Crinkle could talk about and agree on. Because that's the future of our society, right? Is we've been splayed out so hard, the left and the right, that we need to start coming back, right? And I might not get on with Henry, but I do believe that at some point we're all going to have to start coming back together to fight the thing, right?
Yeah.
And at some point we're going to have to touch base on stuff, and we need to find what that is. Now, regards to Henry, I don't know how that works, because
he is a stubborn bastard, though. I've heard him many times where he's been like, no, it's what. I mean, we can all be like that, but at the end of the day, I think, like you say, we are going to have to.
Some of the things that Henry said in the past, I'm like, I didn't hear it, right? But I've heard of it, right? And I'm like, oh, not sure about that, right? However, he hasn't said it on my show. I haven't heard it. I'm going by somebody else.
Well, maybe he's turning things around a bit and being prepared to listen, possibly. I mean, when I've heard him, He won't fucking stop. He keeps on fucking shouting the same stuff down the phone. But, I've also heard him say a couple of things that I would agree with.
Henry has never porn bombed me. And when he was on here, he didn't run me over trying to talk. Because I said, oi, that's enough. He stopped. I listened. He listened. I can't take that away from the man, right? What he does on all these other shows, he just goes off his tits and turns into a monster. But he's never done it on mine. But it's not to say I'm a fan of Henry or anything else. I'm just saying I won't call it anything else than what it is. He was always fine on mine, but I've always been worried. I'm always worried about him.
A bit of respect for you, mate, Adam. I said a bit of respect for you as well,
Well, who knows? But I won't be porn bombed, which is why he can't come on direct, which is what he wants. Anyway, they're on. Shall we move on?
Simon, have you failed maybe your bike test the first time? I remember I watched one of your videos.
I put my foot down on the class 1. I was embarrassed. So I've been going around locally on my 600 and the roads are crested, but I've managed to make it around. But no, I'm not brilliant. I need some more time.
No, mate, it's not a case of not being brilliant. It's I remember I failed this. I think I passed the 3rd time with my motorbike test, but I was at the 2nd time. I can't remember now. I was going back a long time, but there's these little things can happen and so on. But it's
I'll tell you now.
It's great. It's great to.
It's easier to reverse an Arctic truck into a bay than it is to balance a 2-wheeler when you're fat and old on a short space and go round.
Yeah, there's plenty of fat and old fellas, including myself, mate, that are on motorbikes and stuff.
Yeah, but all of you lot, when you go around a circle, you put your feet down like anybody normal does, but you can't do it for your test.
No, well, this is it. But respect to you, mate. You've got a nice little motorbike there, and honestly, it's you can't explain to people how good it feels to actually, get your gear on, get on the bike and go out for a good. It's really good for your mental health as well. It really is. Like, I mean, I'm lucky where I'm quite well. I'd like to think, I'm okay with the old mental health side of things. I'd like to think, but just after a fucking good day out on the bike, you can come home if you've not been fucking no hassle, no drama. You've had a great day out. You've done 100 miles. It's fantastic, mate. And you're gonna fucking really enjoy it. Simon, respect to you, mate, and good luck with the tests and that, and keep on going for it, and have a good night, and respect to you, mate, and thank you because it's nice to listen to yourself and all this shit that's going on.
Will you take your steady?
Have a good night.
Speak to you in a bit. Whew, right. And you think to yourself, how long do I carry on until I wrap this up? And that's always the question. So it's 10 o'clock. But clearly not yet, because somebody's calling. Hello.
Hello, Simon. It's Duncan, the Blue Nose.
How you doing?
I'm okay, thank you. A bit of positivity, yeah?
So the Blue Nose bit, do carry on. Explain.
Oh, I'm a Birmingham City fan, but we're not having a very good season. But we'll leave it there, all right? I haven't phoned up to talk about football.
Yeah, your signal's a little bit choppy, love.
Okay, and how is it now? All right?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah? Are we okay now?
Nope.
Oh, bollocks. How is it now?
No, you might want to go outside or disconnect from the Wi-Fi. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do.
Hang on. It's all mod comms, isn't it? Right. I've disconnected from the Wi-Fi.
Right. Tell you what, give us a call back. Give us a call back in a bit.
All right.
No worries. Right. If you put the phone down on me, I'll speak to you in a bit. Right. Okay. We've got. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, that's not working. Hello.
Hello. How is that now?
That's better.
Yay. Cool. So, positivity, aren't we? It's Saturday night. We need a bit of positivity in our lives. So, where did we start?
Well, we start with Simon needs a piss break. So, have you got any great ideas?
Well,
I
can.
Anyway, right. So, what's your positivity stance for this week?
Well, St. George's Day was good. I think it was good for most of the country who are English. I thought the march went quite well. I think one little bit of two-tier policing that was, and what was good is the whole world seeing the two-tier policing. I think more people are waking up than ever before. Even some of my family are. Maybe not on everything, but they're starting to question.
So, what give you hopes for optimism regarding the family? What did they start saying?
Well, Tommy got free.
Yep.
The magistrate or judge, I don't know which one it was, seeing through it. So that's good. I expected a lot more violence off the police on St. George's Day, but then didn't go there. I also think that a lot of the police now haven't got no backbone, not like in the 70s and 80s. So that's a plus. They might be being used by the system against us, but I don't think they've got it in them so much now. So that's positive that they didn't go baton wielding, putting people in hospital, apart from that one little spat. So that's positive. And it's positive that most of the country's seen actually the police started it, and that's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's positive that some of my family's waking up to what's actually going on around them. And like, I'm a veteran, and even a lot of veterans, and we are renowned for sitting on the fence because it's how we was computerized when we went in the army. But even a lot of the veterans now are coming down on the side of, actually, hold on, was it all worth it? And that's positive.
Well, when you say it's positive, right, there's part of me that thinks that, if you went off and fought a war, say, for instance, the Falklands, and you realise that it wasn't about what you thought it was.
Yeah.
That's going to make me feel fucking bitter.
Absolutely, yeah. Of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would, if it was me, say, for instance, I went and fought the Falklands and I realised that it was for a different reason. I feel bitter, and I don't know how I'd get over that. That's me personally.
It just takes a few years. I mean, going to Belfast, going to Bosnia. I mean, one of the reasons I voted Brexit, there was a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons is I had the European Commission tell me that since the EU had been formed, there'd been no wars. Now they're fucking lying, because there was a war in the former Yugoslavia, And they're telling everyone, we've kept it. No, they haven't kept the peace. And the worst thing was, if you look back in history, America and Britain caused that war because we took 4 different countries and forced them to live together after the Second World War and called it Yugoslavia. And it was never going to work. It was never going to work. The Serbs were pro-Russian. The Croats were pro-German, and they had regiments in the German army, And then you had the Bosnians, and then you had the Muslims mixed in and all. So it was always going to kick off. The only good thing to come out of Yugoslavia was their football team back in the 80s. Apart from that, the rest of it was a clusterfuck. And not me, but the government caused that, and the American government caused it. And then they said, we've had peace in Europe.
Right.
Anyway,
I've got to ask the public, does anybody fancy putting a brew on and having a piss break? If you do, put one in the comments, because if you do, I'll put the intermission on and I'll go for a piss myself. That is to say, I'm hanging for a piss. Anybody else?
Okay, well, look, I've had a bit of a chin wag and I'm trying to be positive. I love you. I love the station. I love all the viewers, and it's good that we get 1,000 on here. So I'll let you go. I'm going to call off and go and have your piss. And you take care of yourself, Simon.
All right, mate. I'm going to have a piss now. I'll see you in a bit. Mate. Right, kids. There it is. I'll play it. Well, that didn't take long, did it? Right. There it was. Sometimes people need to pee. By the way, I lost, well, probably about 80,000. No, wasn't 80,000. 80. Right. Hello?
80,000.
Hello there, mate. How's it going?
Not too bad. That's an interesting picture you've got on there. That clearly.
I wanted to talk about.
That clearly is.
Yeah, carry on. Sorry.
That's not you, is it?
No. Hang on. Let me put my glasses on. I can see it then. Fucking hell, no.
So why?
Anyway,
why would you put a fake picture up?
I didn't. I'm calling on WhatsApp, and that's just what came up.
That can't be your WhatsApp picture. That's not your face, is it?
I don't actually think I've got a WhatsApp picture. I'm a technophobe. I don't really do shit like that.
All right. If you're a technophobe, you wouldn't have done that. Hiya, how you doing?
Oh, hello. Hello, Simon.
Ah, it's you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I've been away for months, Simon. I went away in November and just came back a few days ago. And while I was away for that amount of time, Simon, the news from the UK was terrible, and you had to live through it for the whole winter.
So, did you go abroad for winter?
Yeah, I was in Japan. I was working in Japan, which was fantastic, and just back. But the news from the UK was terrible. And as I say, you lived through it. There's only two good things that, so because you wanted positivity, two good things. I noticed that more people are going down to Speaker's Corner and arguing the Christian point of view and taking the Muslims on, not just your friend Bob the
builder.
Bob the builder, who doesn't like you putting on the dog collar. But there's a lot more that are going down there now, and they're really taking the Muslims on and really making them look foolish, which they are. But the other one was
they're a bunch of inbred fuckwits, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. The other one was that Danny Tomo organised the St George's Day thing, which I was at. I was at the St George's Day thing on Tuesday. Well, it was bloody brilliant, but apart from the fact that we were crowded into one corner of Whitehall on the grass rather than in the centre. And the police were all there in riot helmets.
That's called kettled, isn't it, when they do that?
Yeah, they virtually were trying to kettle us in my opinion. And then the incident happened up the other end. I was away from that incident, so I wasn't involved in that. But that didn't really kick off like the police wanted it to. The thing I would say on the plus side is Tommy wants a demo on the 1st of June about two-tier policing. And I would suggest to everybody, don't let the police rile you. It would be better to just turn around to the police when they're pushing against you and say, hi there, friends. We love you. Can we give you a blessing?
No,
because they won't know
I
what
would
to
go
do.
the other way, right? When they push on
Which
you
way
and do
would you
whatever, don't even acknowledge the cunts. When they're doing stuff to you, it wasn't, I think it was Jesus when he was being hit, he just didn't accept it or didn't, whatever. When you hit me and you're a lefty, and I realize that no matter what I do would be wrong, you hit me and I just stop you hitting me and I make no facial expression. When the police do what they do, you just don't give them the agency that they require.
I think we're more or less on the same page with that.
Yeah.
I go along with that, as well as sort of saying that it's basically don't react because you know they're going to come in with horses and bloody crush you. And then
I've dealt with the horses before.
React.
You get covered in spit and trampled all over the place. It's great. But either way, no, you're always going to, if you go to London to protest, you're in the wrong. You will get trampled. You will get victimized. Accept this. And if you can, you'll be a good protester, right? Now, if you can avoid those moments, even better.
Yeah. There was because of being away so long, there was so much I was going to come on tonight and sort of speak to you about, Simon, and everything and that. But at least I've got a little bit off my chest. I was really pleased, as I say, to be there. And also, there weren't just white English people there. There was people, basically black people there, and all different races, mainly white English like myself. But it's not a case as what Richard said. He pointed to the crowd, forget his other name. He pointed to the crowd and he said, every one of you is English. You might not be Anglo-Saxon, but you're English because you think the same way as we do. And Maya, what's his name, the Iranian guy, he was there and he made a speech and said he came to this country and he's grateful to this country for giving his mother and everybody shelter. And he doesn't want to put the country down. He wants to, be part of the country and build the country. And that is the people I would let stay in the country. And I would shut people out of the country. When you were going on a little earlier about, what you would do if you was prime minister or dictator or anything, I would say kick people out who don't like the country. And on that, probably in my view, the first person I'd kick out is that Welsh kid who goes down to Speaker's Corner with the ginger beard and preaches non-stop crap about Islam. He would be the first one I'd kick out of the country.
No,
he'd say I'm Welsh. I'd say, well, no, you're not. You can go and live in Iran.
I'm going to wind this stream up. But now, before I do, right, does anybody fancy a bit of a drama stream? Now, if you do, put one in the comments, right? Now there's a woman who's very nice to me, Jupiter affiliated, right? We're different, but she's probably one of the most reasonable people on YouTube, but she has a lot of people that aren't reasonable go on there. So it's always an interesting drama, right? I'm going to put the link in here. We're all going to go and gate crash, right? She has 1.31 thousand, so that's 1,300 subscribers. So we're going to paste it in here, and we're all going to gate crash. She doesn't know we're coming, by the way. So if you could all start piling over there, and then what I'll do is I will relieve ourselves of here, right? So I'm watching her 82. She's on 82, right? I'll keep pasting, right? Because I'm going to be wind up here, and I'll go over there.
Which one's the one we press, Simon?
Right. The link will come up in the chat. Click on the link, and then go.
Oh,
over
I've
there.
seen it. I've seen it now. It's just come up
And
on
then
the link. Watch.
Just say Rev
on the
Raid.
Rev on the rant. Rev on the rant.
Rev
Click
Raid.
on that.
Rev Raid, right? That's what we're going to do. Rev Raider, right?
Yeah, I just clicked it now. I suppose in that case, I should say good night, Simon. Good night to all your fellow viewers, or listeners as well. Bye for now.
No worries. See you in a bit.
Bye.
Bye. I'm going to take that down because I'm fucking tired. Right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to Rev Raid that woman because she deserves it. So I'll paste, and then I'm going to go over there and I might jump on her panel if that be all right. I'm tired. Fuck me. She's gone from 87 to 307. Brilliant. Your raid is doing brilliantly. Right. Let's just see what she's saying. Yeah, I can't because I'm on the other one. Yeah, keep going, and then I'll jump over there in a second myself once I've seen enough of you gone over. Go on. And I'll jump on in a second. Right. Bless her little heart. I can't go over yet because I've got to get the rest of you over there. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, Jupiter, lovely. She's been on the movement as far as I've been around, as far as I know. Right in the middle of London, you know, white girl married to a black man, right? Sound as fuck. Absolutely sound as fuck. God, she's got some people watching now. Right, I'm about to leave in 30 seconds. So if you click on this, you can come and join me, and I'll go over there. All right. So I'm wrapping up 30 seconds. So if you can get over there, that'd be great. I will say thank you very much. And I'm going over there. I'll see you in a bit.